that Rose is online. Is Rose online? So Pinky is going to kickstart this afternoon session. Thank you, Sunny, for being a gentleman who goes to church. So we're going to have three presentations. One is by Rose Calvi, one she gets and if she gets online, entitled Facilitate the Revival, Running and Sustainability of Happy Harvest. And then we will have Stephen Semlande from Uganda with his presentation titled Handholding Initiatives, Strategic Partnership for Improved Education Outcomes among Peoples from remote islands of Kalangala District. Then we'll have Pinky Motibedi, I hope that's the pronunciation. Pinky Motibedi from Botswana, whose project is entitled, It's titled Inclusion and Participation of People with Disabilities in Development. I would like us to start with Pinky. You have 20 minutes from now, so by 4:05 you should be done. You're most welcome.
I'm going to say protocol on that, but I would like to recognize my Botswana consulate. Now I have so many reasons to feel home. Thank you for having me.
That same way that I pray that we welcome the concept in a good way. Professor Karim, probably you will take the podium.
I think we need to start.
And then I'll make some few remarks and invite the Honorary Consul to come and address us.
We shall start with the Uganda National Anthem as the host nation, and then we'll proceed to the Botswana Anthem.
Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand. Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom, our love and labor we give, and with neighbors all at our country's calling, peace and friendship we live.
Oh, Uganda, the land that feeds us by sun and fertile soils grown. For our own dear land, we shall always stand the part of our
That was the Pearl of Africa. Now we go south.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wabiona Milton and the choristers. How beautiful the voices were rendered. For the first time, and in a long time, I've had an audience clap to an anthem. And we don't take that for granted in terms of the value of your voice. Once more, Patrick Mangeni, the Dean of the School of Liberal and Performing Arts, where the Rotary Peace Center falls, and that's within also the Department of Religion and Peace Studies, which is in the school that I head. Perhaps before I invite the Honorary Consul, I want to recognize her, to recognize the board members of the Rotary Peace Centers and all the guests and the participants that are here. For some of you, you may have seen me before, but perhaps not within this conference since it started. I was to be here yesterday, but within the university we are quite busy with a multiplicity of activities running, which can only be comparable to a very busy time among the people of the mountains here, the Vagisu. You know, it is also a season of harvest. The other side, when we graduate human beings into realms of culture and value, and within that time, you know, everybody is quite busy. The singers are busy, the uncles are busy, the choristers are, everybody is active and is a kind of a beehive that's similar on which we're experiencing in Makerere now. Our examinations are running as well and many other activities. But we do greatly appreciate the Rotary Peace Center for this very innovative approach that also allows our grantees to be able to move out and share with the communities and also with the wider public the kind of work that they're doing. We don't take this for granted, and we really greatly appreciate. This afternoon, the Deputy Vice Chancellor has given out certificates, but we're also looking forward to you, the grantees, or those that have participated today, are attending the 72nd graduation ceremony of Makerere. We shall strive to create space for that. Incidentally, I chair the Senate committee that handles ceremonies, so that's directly under my docket, and it will also be my pleasure to see us are graduating on that day. Now, without taking more of your time, it is my singular honor and pleasure to invite the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Botswana. I hope that I've initiated it well, Maria Odido, to come and address us.
Thank you very much, Dean. This is what you call an ambush. Because I thought I was coming and sitting and watching Pinky make a presentation, and all of a sudden I hear I'm supposed to say something. Nonetheless, I'd like to thank, first of all, the Rotary Club, the Rotary of Uganda, Makerere University, congratulations for having won the inaugural Capstone Conference. Thank you very much. The board of the conference, and of course, my young lady from Botswana for raising the flag of Botswana. Yeah. I'd like to thank you all for the wonderful work that you've initiated. It's very nice to see Africa work for Africans work for Africa. The fact that we should build our own societies rather than wait for donor funding, that we can show what we can do for ourselves. It's very heartening. It would be very nice, perhaps, to be able to show a little bit more or expose a bit more of what has been achieved so that other people know, so that there are more examples of what is being done. Our communities need us, and we thank you very much for standing out, for coming together, pulling the resources that you have. And I heard over lunchtime from Fred Masade that there's very little money that's gone into this. That tells us that development is not always about the funds that are available. It's the will of the people available. One person can make a change. So imagine coming together, pooling your resources, your human resources together to bring about this kind of change. It makes for good, how can I say, for good advertisement. It makes for good development for our communities. Thank you very much. Pinky, I look forward to your presentation. I know I will enjoy it, and I'll be reporting back. Thank you very much. Yeah. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you. I think after my mother, I should be having the confidence. In disability, we don't talk too much. We just do the work. So you'll excuse me when I'm unable to talk too much. The social initiative is titled Inclusion and Participation of People with Disability in Development. This social initiative is a partnership between the Okavango Sub-District Council, which is our local authority, and Mwatuma Rehabilitation Center, which is a community-based organization for people living with disabilities. The partners were through this initiative promoting community-based inclusive development program as a means of social, economic, and community participation and integration of people with disabilities. And for us to get there, we had to ask ourselves first the questions, and working with people with disability to try to understand what is it that they want. And they want simple things to transform their lives, their human rights to be recognized, things that, little things that we all take for granted, They want somewhere to live, to work, a better health care, good education, and just a chance to enjoy a company of a friend and to go clubbing. You know, these are simple things, but there are people who come into this world, live, and they go without having a friend. But they wish. There are people who wish, you know, when somebody say to you, if just one day I can go to school, and you are born in the same time with this person in the same country, and then it hits you, you wonder, what really happened when I got an opportunity and this same person in the same environment, they didn't get this opportunity. Then you should know that there's something wrong with the systems. People with disabilities just want to participate meaningfully in their community like everyone else. They want to change. They want change, and they wish all of us, the community, and those in the development space, to share this vision with them. I don't think they're asking too much with this. And they would like everyone to participate in building a more inclusive development and communities. So I think this hits on us as fellows that those who are going to be doing the social change initiatives, you think about this, how inclusive are you in your initiatives? If you are saying you are going to do peace education, who said, because I have disability, I don't need peace education? So it's, they're asking for little things. So, and our initiative was focusing on the key principles of social justice, self-determination, that whatever that we do, it should be demand-driven. People should be there and willing and wanting something. And participation, which is inclusion for all, and learning and reflection. I wasn't too sure if I was going to be able to do this and how. So there was a lot of learning and a lot of reflection, and there's still a lot that I'm going to be learning, even with the local council. The main objective is to promote non-discriminatory, inclusive, and integrated society where people with disabilities are important stakeholders in the development processes. We had a number of activities. We had a positive peace training. We had a rehabilitation project and a food security and production project. The positive peace training was done for the management of the local council and its political leaders. I found it very difficult. You know, I came back home equipped with positive peace frameworks, knowledge, theories, and you know, you get to an environment where you feel like a fish outside water, because those who are around you, they really don't have any idea what you are talking about. So it was very, very important for me that I have to pass this training to my colleagues. And it was a process. Because Botswana, they always think that we are peaceful, there are no wars. The question is, Pinky, what kind of peace is this, you know? But we don't have wars here. You know, you are coming from East Africa and you're coming up with ideas. So you say, cool down, you learn. But we went through, and now they call it a powerful workshop. this is what they always say, powerful workshop, you know. And from this training, we have dreams as the Okavango sub-district. An IEP. IEP has to come to Botswana to deliver the training. They paid for their traveling and everything, and my government paid for the conference facilities and everything. So I'm very grateful for that. We needed them to understand what is positive peace, and also to guide us how we can take on the framework and work on our policies and our plans as the council. And from this workshop, immediately we decided that we are going to have, that's why the rehabilitation program was born. And the rehabilitation program, we got, Botswana, the government is the biggest buyer, and they have tenders almost every year. And women, young people, they've been integrated quite well, but we didn't have people with a disability who were participating. And immediately they decided that we are going to have 6 people with a disability who are going to participate in this tendering business. We know they don't have money, and we didn't go for people with a disability who have gone through the school, who have gone through the university. We wanted somebody who is home, who is down at the back there. So it means it's a lot of work to carry this person. But how do we manage to get through? We have people in the community who are community volunteers supporting people with a disability. We have family members who support people with disability. The person has to decide, is there anyone in the family who they feel that are there for them? So sometimes they will not find someone within the family, but this person will say, I have a friend, someone down there who can support me. So we have to train these people. They always come together. If we do any training, they will come together. So we have to also advocate for them to get funding to be able to implement the projects. What they were doing, these people are coming from 6 different villages, and we have, for our safety nets, we have orphans, we have children in need of care, we have people who live under the poverty line, and all these people, the government provide them with food basket, they provide with toiletry. There are a few things that they are provided with, and now these people, they were going to be suppliers of all these items to their community. It has been difficult because the community suddenly they wonder, what the heck, are they sick? The council has started getting sick. How do you get somebody who is blind and you are saying they are going to supply us? How are they going to manage? Even the politicians, they were a little bit scared. Are we going to make it? So we made a commitment that we'll make sure that they make it. So we had to link them with the financial institutions. They get the money. The first 3 months, we support them with transport so that they can transport their suppliers until they break point. So when they have break point, they no longer need to go back to borrow money. Now they have made enough profit to be able to do their supplies and hire transport to get there. But we remain behind. We don't just leave them. And they have done very well. And this year, this was 2021-2022 financial budget. So for 2022-2023, we are now going to have 31 people with disabilities who will be providing for their communities. And it's amazing to see the transformation. And this person starts having a voice and being an influential member of the community. And the community also directly, you know, we are breaking attitudes and stereotypes. So slowly, it's changing. And so we are happy with that. And then, and all these people, they have gone through the training, and we believe that those who we have started with, they will be able to help others in the coming year. So they will be the role models. The next project, we have a farm. By 2019, we have drilled a borehole. And for some time, we didn't have money to do anything. But from here, I was motivated. I wanted this to work. So we had to work very hard to look for money to make the project start working. We have done a number of developments in the farm. And with the positive piece, the council was going to sell the tractor. And we said, no, why don't we give it to them? And now they have a tractor. And we believe that we'll be getting somewhere in this coming year. I think, yeah. I don't know what he's going to do first, but there are some pictures and there's a video. Yeah, thank you. I think the picture kind of I'm the only one who can see them. The picture kind of sum up all the events that we have carried. This is where we were. They don't start here. Okay. We have agreed that they will control everything, so I don't have the extra. Yeah. Thank you. The pictures. It kind of sum up everything that we have done. Those are all the developments that are in the farm. We have had a positive piece. That's my council chair. IEP is there. There we are playing outside. And we had a big celebration where the council is giving us the tractor and the farm. Those are young people who are deaf and are dancers. And those are the farm developments. we did plow, and fortunately, the yields did very well. So people are right now back home are busy harvesting. That's the training for the rehabilitation program. And I'll play, it's a small, short video where the beneficiaries kind of, you can interact with them and get closer to what they think about their project. Yeah.
Pinky comes from a country I really want to visit one of these days. Yeah, at least in Southern Africa. And one very interesting... Southern Africa. I've been through Zimbabwe somehow, so I want to go to Botswana. No, and one thing, and I want to say this to you in all honesty, I admire Botswana for especially its democracy. Really, really admire it for that. Okay, then I will request that we move to the next presenter, Stephen Sempande. I'm going to request you to please make your presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, moderator. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Protocol observed. My name is Stephen Sempande from Uganda. Sorry, I have been unable to join my colleagues to physically attend this great conference because I am not in good shape. I have some headache. Nonetheless, I am delighted for this opportunity to present my social initiative. During the conference yesterday, we had a powerful panel discussion where panelists highlighted a number of things we should look at in our peace building endeavors. I noted a few of them, some of which include the role of community engagement, building agency and social cohesion, diversity and social inclusion, transforming attitudes, community leadership, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what my social initiative is all about. Maybe before I proceed, it's important to note that I had to change my social initiative due to the impact of COVID-19 because schools were...
Stephen,
yes?
Please,
yes, hello?
Please put on your video.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope you can see me. I was saying that I had to change my social initiative due to the impact of COVID-19. Initially, I had hoped that I would work with schools, but because of the restrictions due to COVID-19, whereby schools were closed, I was unable to proceed with my social initiative. That meant that I had to come up with a new one altogether. So that's why my social initiative is about training peace monitors from Kalangala district in GBV prevention, alternative dispute resolution, and access to justice concept. I hope everyone can see the screen. Are you able to see the screen I've just shared? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Let me just give you a snapshot about Kalangala. I know many people are asking why Kalangala, where is Kalangala found? Yes, Kalangala district is situated in southwestern Uganda. The district is entirely made up of 84 islands scattered in Lake Victoria. Still, the district is characterized by more institutional social structure that hardly supports the girl child. and is habituated to sexual abuse. The community is so tightly knit by kinship ties that protect men who sleep with young girls. So gender-based violence remains the greatest concern facing the women and girls from this part of the country, and is estimated at 47%. But also the impact of COVID-19 further widened and deepened the socio-economic fault lines along gender, leading to many cases of early pregnancies and child marriages in the district. But also, Kalangala district is reported to have the highest prevalence of HIV/AIDS in the country, estimated at 18%, against the national average of 6.2. So the picture you see right there is the photograph is for Kalangala. It's a beautiful place, but the social structure tells a different story. So what problem are we looking at? Let's look at some of the statistics. Statistics from the Family and Child Protection Desk in Kalangala district indicate that 40 cases of defilement, which 21 were aggravated, 5 cases of indecent assault, 36 of domestic violence were reported between the period of January to October 2021. That is during the COVID period. Moreover, many cases are never reported to authorities for so many reasons. But also, the situation is augmented by limited access to justice for the survivors of gender-based violence. That is really troubling. So latest reports from Kalangala indicate that approximately less than 1% of the perpetrators are prosecuted for their crimes. Furthermore, there exists knowledge gaps on GBV, weak referral and response system, absence of legal aid services, and willingness of communities to report abuse, victims fearing to speak up, power imbalance, to say the least. Probably this is due to the island geography. Those of you who have been to Kalangala know that the island geography really complicates access to services. So this kind of situation is associated with devastating consequences, as survivors often experience lifelong emotional distress, mental health, poor reproductive health, high risk of acquiring HIV, and in the extreme cases, leads to death. So what is the theory of change for my social initiative? So my assumption from the word go was, if community-based structures are strengthened through stakeholder mapping, rural appraisal, strategic partnerships, restoration of traditional justice systems, and training peace monitors in GBV prevention, positive peace framework, and access to justice concepts, then society-level factors, including value systems, norms, and social environments that normalize violence against women and girls, would be challenged. So community participation through the work of peace monitors would hence dispense a tailored approach that would help to create community awareness on GBV, support behavior change and attitude change through dialogues. Yesterday, we had that powerful panel of discussion where they emphasized the role of community engagement and the significance of transforming attitudes. So this is what the initiative is all about. Basically, to support timely referral of vulnerable women, girls, and GBV survivors to appropriate agencies, support prosecution of perpetrators, and conduct survivor-centered mediation. We saw that less than 1% of the perpetrators face justice, and that is really disturbing. So in the end, once we have achieved all that, we hope there would be peaceful coexistence through improved prevention and response to gender-based violence in Kalangala district. Yeah, what is our strategy? Our core strategy was about activation of community participation. This was highlighted in the panel discussion yesterday, I'm glad. So this initiative identified, trained, and commissioned peace monitors, who are basically community-based volunteers, whose role is to foster peace through violence prevention and response activities, right from early warning roles, mediation, and referral. So in addition, community volunteers help in addressing simple legal problems and assist community members to access justice. So in that picture, we have one of our peace monitors, actually, who was trained. He's a Rotarian, former Rotary president of Kalangala, who was being given his certificate after completing the 2 days training by the chairperson LCPI. Then, still on the implementation strategy, we looked at alternative dispute resolution. Some people have talked about it, and I think also Catherine talked about it. So through this initiative, peace monitors were equipped with skills in mediation, because apart from saving resources and reinforcing the human aspect, ADR has the potential to empower the participants and bring additional benefits that are not available through the litigation process. We are all aware of the case backlogs in courts, but also we know that courts are not well distributed, especially in Kalangala, because of the island geography. In Kalangala, we have one court that sits on the main island. So we think ADR can come in handy to save the situation for some of the petty cases. ADR mechanisms have had promising results globally, yes, since they are designed to manage community tensions and also promote peace and prevent violence. Then the other last strategy we adopted in this initiative is cultivating a strategic partnership. Yeah, my colleagues have talked about funding issues and many other things. So we could not really proceed with this initiative if we had not really cultivated collaboration, partnership, synergies. Yeah, so this initiative attracted different stakeholders coalescing around a shared vision of addressing GBV in Kalangala communities. Facilitators included the Kalangala district local government officials, the political leaders. You just saw the LC5 who officiated, who commissioned the peace monitors. We had a Rotary Club of Kalangala Sese was part of the arrangement. We had lawyers from Justice Center Uganda. Then we have my colleague Catherine Bainom Gisha. She was a facilitator, and I want to thank her. We also had judicial officials from Kalangala, the state attorney. I also want to thank my mentor, Dr. Charlotte Mafumbo. She gave a keynote during the training. So on the other hand, the trained peace monitors comprised a diverse group and included journalists, women cultural leaders, youth, Rotarians, and the elderly. You know, yesterday, still in the panel discussion, they emphasized the idea of diversity and inclusion. So while we're identifying the participants, we try to see that we look at the diversity issues. So furthermore, the initiative worked closely with Uganda cultural leader in charge of Sese County, locally known as Kweva. This is the Kingi's representative in Kalangala. Actually, he was very excited when he heard about our initiative. Actually, he told me that they had a plan, a similar plan. They wanted to revitalize the parish level traditional justice spaces known as Vitauruzi. So when he heard about our initiative, he participated in the mobilization, and he was actually among the facilitators. So most of the participants are actually cultural leaders at sub-county parish level, because the traditional leader wants to replicate this, So he was part, and he was very happy to join us. Yeah, what did we accomplish? As I told you, we had a 2 days training that happened in Kalangala town, where peace monitors were identified and equipped. Still, the process of identifying was participatory. The cultural leader actually recommended, we approached the community development officer. They recommended some participants, but mostly our participants came from the cultural institution. Because we are looking out for people with good moral standings in the community, people who are respected, people who are approachable. So we knew that the cultural institution should be the go-to space to get these people. The peace monitors were identified, yes, and equipped with basic legal knowledge in GBV prevention, access to justice concepts, referral pathways, and holding interactive dialogues as a mechanism for addressing the root causes to GBV within their communities. Yeah, still yesterday they talked about agency, building leadership. So I think we looked at this very well, because the peace monitors are volunteers from the community. What we did is to build their leadership skills, equip them with knowledge, so that they take on the challenge to address the root causes to GBV within their community. So the 8 peace monitors were commissioned. It was a colorful event. They were commissioned. The gentleman there in glasses, the state attorney. We have the LC5 with the green mask. some Rotarians and facilitators. So they were permissioned, they were given certificates, and they're already leading the way in creating community awareness on GBV, conducting mediation, supporting behavior change, through dialogues, supporting timely referral of vulnerable women, girls, and GBV survivors, as well as supporting prosecution of perpetrators. So what changed? What are our immediate outcomes? There was enhanced peaceful coexistence among the citizens in Kalangala. This was seen through the work of peace monitors who are providing expeditious services, as I said, in form of mediation and advising the community on simple legal issues and conducting referral to appropriate agencies. Furthermore, peace monitors have established what we call a community alert network through available communication means such as mobile phones or in person to report suspected violence incidents immediately. So they can be addressed in real time. Kalangala is a hard to reach, so they have leveraged the technological revolution to be able to report cases and respond in real time. So this social initiative has increased community appreciation of ADR, alternative dispute resolution, something that has helped inspire positive action and urgency towards revitalizing parish level traditional dispute resolution spaces, which we call towns. Back in the days, traditional leaders here in Buganda, they had their own traditional mechanisms at parish level through which they would resolve some disputes like domestic violence, to say the least. So these are going to be revitalized in Kalangala thanks to this social initiative. Throughout the implementation, the social initiative has also helped to polish my leadership skills personally as I interact with different stakeholders. So it has elevated my profile as a peace builder, and I'm thankful for that. So what did we learn in the course of implementing the social initiative? We learned that the commonest gender disparities and behavioral characters in Kalangala that fuel gender-based violence are sex difference, livelihood sources, labor difference, transient and cosmopolitan lifestyle of the fisher folk. Because in Kalangala people keep moving, the major economic activity is fishing, so people keep moving to look for fish. There's drug abuse. These fishermen use a lot of drugs to stay awake at night on water while fishing. And the weak public and social structures due to the island geography. So those are some of the things that we think really create a fertile ground for GBV. The common land and property rights issues that drive GBV in Kalanga also include rights awareness. People are not aware about their rights, especially the women, boundary issues, and social safety. So the major victims of such conflicts have been women, widows, children, and the elderly. So in conclusion, local stakeholders in Kalanga actually were very excited about the initiative. They expressed great optimism and hope in the initiative. However, the challenge is sustaining the positive gains achieved so far. This has been mentioned. It has been a concern throughout the engagement in this conference, issues to do with sustainability. But we think traditional dispute resolution spaces, locally known as the Ritaos, potentially have the best prospects for promoting peace and sustainability and sustaining the response against gender-based violence in Kalangala. So, however, we cannot achieve the desired results if the gender discriminatory and patriarchal norms and attitudes surrounding traditional informal justice institutions are not addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much.
Accepted us, we blended together, where we are now, as you can see, we have this far, our storeroom there, a blend of these. We have our reservoir tank, a tank of 1,000 liters. Here is for mixing the fertilizers, which will be used into the fields. Thereby, our solar panel, our electricity together with your leaders at Okavango Sub-District Council, because you are always with us. And the challenge you are having here, we have been given a tractor without implants. So, because August 15th, we extended August 15th, we will start plowing maize. So unfortunately, because we don't have implants, so that's our main challenge. We don't have funds. Right now, our government or our council does not have enough funds, so we have no funds for the council. We are employing 2 men as watchmen. And also we have a neighborhood committee which looks after all these projects.
for that. Rose should be online as far as I know. Okay, Rose is going to present. Rose is going to present on a project titled Facilitate the Revival, Running and Sustainability of Happy Hammies. Rose, you're welcome to start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to sign in via my laptop, so I can't share the presentation myself. Is anybody there able to share it, seeing as I sent it to them? I'm afraid your volume is non-existent. I can't hear if anybody's answering me in the documentation correctly. So I've been facilitating access to inner city and rural education in Chibando and Gaya communities. And so I've been doing that all year. If we can move to the next slide, please. Okay, so basically I've actually had two projects, and one has been for Happy Hammies Academy, and another one has been for the Nest of Joy. And at Happy Hammies, we've had to find new premises for a school and start income generating businesses and get the community involved. And then at the Nest of Joy, we have built a primary school and expanded our skills centre. So those are my two projects I've been working on. The problems have been the lack of investment in rural and slum schools, a limited amount of government-funded schools. So there has been moves to provide government-funded schooling, but it has not been enough to provide, especially schooling for those in the inner city. Obviously, the past year and a couple of years before, the economy has not been brilliant, so we've all been struggling to make ends meet, and as education is a luxury in most of these communities, it has really suffered, especially for teenage girls. So if we can move to the next slide. So yes, I moved on to project stages. I'm not sure if we've missed a slide. So basically, at the beginning of the project, I was told that it was all too complicated. The projects I had in mind were not possible. But despite that, we've persevered anyway. And so I divided both sites and into stages to see how far we could get within the year. So raise awareness for the problems, get the communities involved at both sites. Then for me to raise funds through various diverse means to facilitate income generating businesses at both sites so that they could become more self-sufficient. Build classrooms at both sites, and also build partnerships with local companies and other community-based organizations for both sites as well. So next slide, please. Okay, here, yeah, we didn't miss a slide. So the challenges that I faced, most people I went to for support and assistance said it was too complicated. I do believe that's because you can't expect immediate and significant changes, which you can sort of take photos of and post and boast about your achievements. Schooling and education is long term. It will have its long term benefits for more of the population. I also struggled with remotely managing the projects. Obviously, COVID meant that I couldn't travel as frequently as I would like. The global economic crisis and the pandemic certainly made funding harder to find. Then there were certain legal difficulties, which was that because Happy Hammies is supposedly a community-based school, it's not a charitable organisation, so funding bodies would not assist with lump sums. There was definitely not enough resources in the community, financial and fiscal resources, for the communities to support in that direct way. And then, unfortunately, we lost quite a few animals to a virus of their own. So that was a challenge and a setback in the growth, especially of the income-generating businesses. Next slide, please. Okay, so how we mitigated these challenges. So I basically, after a few false starts with trying to get bigger organizations involved in the projects and funding the projects, I turned all my attention to private funding. So to avoid the difficulties that remote managing can bring, we agreed on increased communications between myself and the project managers, lots more pictures being shared through social media and WhatsApp, so I could sort of see the process rather than just hearing verbal reports. Created online fundraisers for both sites, and we looked at private and other online funding just to circumnavigate all the difficulties and restrictions. Created PTA meetings and community meetings, which were held at both sites, and the community just got more and more involved and were offering like volunteering for their services and sharing the resources that they have, like building and painting, etc. We found businesses in Uganda which were willing to be outlets for our income generating businesses' produce. And then also I recently collaborated with a friend to do some more online. He's in the financial trading sector, so he's been doing online fundraising within that sector, which has really helped the setbacks that we've had and moved us forward greatly. So next slide, please. Okay, so I thought I'd end with a few pictures because they often speak volumes. So this is at Happy Hammies, the school in the slum, and so this was us introducing our first set of rabbits, which is one of the income generating businesses. And then obviously the picture of the chickens is our chicken farm that we have set up at Happy Hammies as well. And both businesses are doing incredibly well, and it is due to the fact that we made that business connection with the local outlet in Uganda, in Kampala. So next slide, please. So yes, obviously me with the bunny rabbits. They're exceptionally gorgeous, but they are useful as well as an income generating business. So this was at the Nest of Joy. So you can just see a sort of different environment, one setting more rural than the other. And so we've actually at the Nest of Joy also started donating out bunnies to local families, and so that they can sort of start being more self-sufficient themselves. So next slide, please. So this was at the beginning of Happy Hammies. We found this building which had seven rooms in it, some of which were actually occupied by families which were meant to be moving to different accommodation. So we took over the building, we built a sort of makeshift kitchen, and so this was the first lunch. This photo is one of the first lunches that the students of Happy Hammies got from us. We give out free lunches, cooked lunches every day. And obviously at the beginning, so many children were starting to come back after COVID that we ended up with children in the corridor. And so obviously throughout the year, we have been attempting to improve conditions. So next slide, please. So yes, this was a week ago, and I am proud to say that I've totally handed back the running of the school to the community. And since then, they have just put even more effort in. They've started painting the building and doing renovations to make it safer and a happier environment for the children, who, as you can see, are now all wearing school uniforms, and they have all the up-to-date equipment that they need, and they are getting fed every day at lunchtime. And I have every faith that the community, with all their effort and hard work, will continue to run this school for generations to come, providing education to many a generation who would never have otherwise got any schooling. So very proud of that, the community, and very happy to be a part of that. So next slide, please. So yes, this is at the Nest of Joy in the rural community. So we have finished building the primary school. We have recently purchased over 100 desks and chairs. They've been handmade for us, and they are going into the school. They have been delivered. And you can also see a picture of our first cohort of students at the Skills Centre, who we are now upgraded and introduced the class of computers. So next slide, please. Yeah, we have also begun teaching modern cooking. So the ladies that we help and support have more up-to-date skills, so we can support them in getting jobs in the hospitality industry, perhaps more easily. And for a bit of recreation, because I think it's very, very important, we have also started the Pink Panthers, they have chosen to call themselves. This is our netball team, and they have been having great fun learning the game and teaching others in the community. We have our first graduation on the 8th of May, and we will be getting a new cohort of young ladies who have come into our charity, so we can help support them. So we'll be getting a new cohort in. So yeah, Nest of Joy has come on leaps and bounds in the previous year. And I think I've got one more slide, or is that it? That's it. So yes, at Happy Hammies, it's all handed back to the community, and Nest of Joy is something that I will be involved in for the rest of my life. So we have come in leaps and bounds, but we will continue to grow and eventually move out west in Uganda as well. So yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose Carl. Thank you, Peter. Actually, Stephen Sempande, and thank you, Pinky, for carrying us through this afternoon. I do not know if we do have some very quick questions, but just in case okay. Maidel, you have a quick question. Make it really quick. It's 5 o'clock. Yes, Pascal, I've given you a minute of my time.
Okay, thank you very much. My question goes to Pinky.
Okay.
Pinky, among Maidel's activities, we always integrate disability activities, disability people in every activity, from the board to the executive, even up to different departments. And they have been participating fully, for example, in saving scheme, in vocational skills. These are the projects that we have. Also at our school, at Maidel Makwintona Academy, including other activities at community level. But we are getting a challenge in the people with disabilities to participate in sports activities. For us, we have a soccer academy and other sports for recreation. So how do you, as an organization, or how can you advise Mengo Youth Development Link to handle the issue of disability people to participate fully in sports program? Thank you. Lastly, is that can we get some of the materials shared by our brothers, because we can use them in our day-to-day activity? Thank you very much.
Pasco, do you need only the ones from the brothers or from the brothers and sisters?
Brothers and sisters.
Okay. We have taken note of that, and I'll be sharing with you a book of abstracts. And once you pick interest in one of them, the contacts are there. You'll be able to reach us in order for us to get you in touch.
Thank you very much.
Pinky, do you want to use a mint to respond to that? You can actually even come and stand here.
I think you asked a very critical question, and it's something that is close to my heart, because young people with disability experience the same, have the needs and the challenges that every young person have, and normally they are left behind. I don't know the Ugandan environment very well, who is there in sports. So I think maybe Donald will be the right person to answer the question, but I think also when you link with the schools that already working with the children with disabilities, you'll be able to learn a lot from them. I think they always go for the Olympic, the special Olympic competitions. So the teachers would have skills, so if you link with them. And then I don't know the sports council here, their work, because I will give you something in Botswana, but maybe not work here. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Pinky. You could move with the yellow mic and give it to Ronald. Ronald, you have half a minute to say something about that. I haven't started counting. I'm about to start.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. And I would like first of all to congratulate you for also moving that direction, sports. That is an area, one of the areas that break mindset, you know. Many people don't think that person with disabilities can participate in sports. Now, maybe for more information, you need to get in touch with me. I'm going to give you 2 contacts in Uganda. One is working on skating, okay, and it is a new project, and another one is engaged in disability sports, especially blind sports and other sports. They are specifically doing disability sports. So I think these networks will help you to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ronald. Like any peace fellow, they really kept time. In the room, I have the chairman, Wakiso District. I cannot say no because you may chase me out of the district. So I'll give you half a minute to say something.
Thank you. I'm Sejengo Sulaiman by names. Of late, I've been the commissioner in charge of special needs education in Buganda government, and currently I'm the chairman, Masaza Cup Organizing Committee in Buganda Kingdom. Thank you. To respond to his question, as we speak today, the Minister of Education organizes competitions for disabled children depending on the disability, but most especially for the deaf, blind, and those with physical disabilities. They are competing. As I speak now, primary schools are in Imbale competing. So just contact the commissioner in the Ministry of Education, and there's somebody on the desk to handle that. He will help you link up with your school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Friends, I have the honor to say Chairman came with a delegation. All those that came with the delegation of Chairman, please stand up for recognition. Our friends from Wachiso PG, those are our partners who are doing a lot of peace building in the communities. Thank you so much for coming. And Idi Pasco, we are grateful that you do host our fellows too when they are here during their time. So please get in touch as advised. Without further ado, allow me invite Rotarian Fred Masade to invite PDG Xavier, who will be speaking to us who will be speaking to us about the upcoming E-Club, Rotary E-Club. You're welcome, sir.
I always call Dr. Helen one of the biggest bullies that I know. And she even enjoys it. I won't spend long here. Mine is a simple task. To introduce and invite past District Governor Xavier Francis Sentamu Salongo to come here and talk to us. There's been Rotary has been evolving, and the traditional ways of Rotary clubs have had to change, and we've been trying to persuade the people at the Rotary Peace Center to join Rotary. So past District Governor Xavier is going to talk to us about one form of Rotary Club that is very, very easy to implement, and we think this time these guys will take the step. PDG Xavier.
Thank you so much, Fred. Dr. Helen, now that you are bully to Fred, and I knew Fred is going to do the same for me. But I'm so glad to be here. Good evening, friends. Good evening, friends. Some life. Apologies, I've been following online. So I've not been here physically, but I've been following everything that is going on, and I'm so excited to see the many friends, those that I've not seen for quite some time, those that I've seen online a couple of times, and the new friends that I'm meeting here for the first time. As introduced, I'm Francis Xavier Sentam Fred, not that order. It's not Xavier Francis, it is Francis Xavier. And from the Rotary Club of Kiwatule. I've been in Rotary for the last 20 years, and so I know a bit or two about Rotary, but probably Fred should have been the right person to be talking to us about us forming ourselves into a Rotary Club. He probably has been in Rotary much longer than I've been. So, we had a discussion. I think this discussion started when we had a cocktail at the Vice Chancellor's place, and we thought, with all this classification, with all these people that are linked up with the Peace Center, why can't we come up with a Rotary Club? With a club that can address concerns of the communities where we all come from. Over the years, Rotary has been evolving, as Fred has mentioned. By the time we joined Rotary, it was so restricted. You had to be in a Rotary Club meeting. Even they were limiting our dress code. They were, things like that. But then we found out that by restricting ourselves, we were closing out so many people out there. Indeed, these friends of mine here, the fellows, when they came in, most of them confessed to me that they had never heard of Rotary until they applied for this fellowship. I hope now the story is different. But there are so many of that caliber. There are so many Ugandans. There are so many people within Kampala in the close proximity of our Rotary meetings, and they have simply never heard about Rotary. And even those who had heard about it, they thought it's outside their reach. I don't want to start putting us to spot what you think about Rotary, but so many people confessed to me they thought they were these bourgeoisies like Fred or Anne. They thought they were, things like that. So, over time, Rotary constituted a team to study. Why is it that not so many people are joining Rotary? Or what are those hindrances that are stopping people from joining this organization? And one of them came out to be the rigid nature with which we run our meetings. A traditional Rotary club will have to meet once every week for your lifetime. You have to meet. And when you don't meet, then they fine you. A rigid traditional Rotary club will always have to report. When you don't meet, at least go and meet somewhere else and you come back and report. A make-up. A traditional Rotary club will have to come and their agenda is stipulated within that 1 hour. A traditional Rotary club will not meet online even when things are as chaotic as COVID, until COVID hit us. So there are those very restrictive, conditions around us. So after a study, they thought the right way to go is to be flexible as an organization, to make it easier. And indeed, so many people had left our organization because, one, they have become so busy and they cannot keep up with the tradition of meeting regularly. Two, they are always on the move and they cannot be stationed in one place all the time. Three, they thought they just didn't want to be boxed in. And so many other reasons. So Rotary International, through the Council of Legislation, they indeed discussed through this the report that was made, and in the last 5-6 years, we've ended up opening up space, becoming more flexible, so that we can take on more people for as long as they have the service heart with them. So that we can take on more people for as long as they can offer themselves, their ideas, their time, at the comfort of whatever places they want to meet. And so we've ended up opening up to e-clubs, people who simply cannot, people want to be able to fellowship while they are in the taxi, on a train. As long as you have connectivity, you do. I've been following up this conference in office. Why wouldn't I be able to deal with the two activities together? So we ended up coming up with an e-club. We came up with a passport club because they found out that there are so many people who have left our organization simply because time has become too complicated. And we are saying, now let us create a passport club, and the passport has it where that it gives you flexibility that you can fellowship anywhere as long as there's a Rotary meeting, but you dedicate your time more in service. And that is the idea that we want to bring here in Makere, that when we move wherever we go, you can be able to engage in Rotary activities, in fundraisers, in service. You can be able to maintain your Rotary status, but not being restricted to a particular Rotary club. That's what a passport club does. The e-club gives you, just removes the physical attendance, but you continue maintaining the others. In actual fact, the passport club, you can meet once in a month. What we are driving at is your engagement, your service heart continuing to be ahead of you. So we've been engaging with Dr. Helen, with Sylvia and the rest of the team, and we are thinking that this is a good opportunity for us to continue engaging, to continue being together, even while we are in different parts of the world. And we are now getting members to register for that. To those of you, I'm sure the fellows have known a bit about Rotary, but I've noticed that there's a big cohort from that has escorted the chairman. And they probably are hearing Rotary for the first time. And they are wondering, okay, this guy here is talking so many things, but is Rotary for us? Rotary has been, when it started in 1905, it started on a platform of friendship. So when you are talking about Rotary, you're talking about creating friendship. It's about opening up your boundaries beyond the 1, 2, 3, and 10 people that you know, to opening it up to the over 1.3 million other very service-committed men and women around the world. After starting with that friendship, then the Rotarians know that with friendship you can be able to look out for someone in need and help as friends. In Uganda, over time I've seen that helping is becoming a rare commodity. But yet it's part and parcel of our fabric. We all grew up with a helping hand. You know, people, I remember growing up that we looked out for your neighbors every Christmas. Even when you would slaughter a chicken, you could obviously send a thigh to the neighbor. Whenever you would be able to harvest matoke, I was about to turn into Uganda. You would get one cluster and send to the neighbor. And that's how we grew up. We grew up knowing that the neighbor is your mother, your father. The sense of humanity was engrossed within us growing up. Unfortunately, as modernity comes up, everyone is, you even don't know your neighbors. But Rotary is about that. And so for me, I will not make this long because I know people have been seated for a long time. Our call is for us to think about joining the Passport Club, register. You become a Rotarian just like any other traditional member. So you pay the Rotary International dues. They are less than $100 in a year. That's something that is affordable. But most importantly, that it opens up that service angle to it. I will tell you that sense of oneness. We just returned from a conference in Naivasha. And when we were heading to Naivasha on Thursday, one of the vehicles that was carrying fellow Rotarians into Naivasha was involved into an accident in Nakuru. Fatal, because one of our colleagues died, being buried today. And some others are still fighting for their lives and so on. I reached that hospital on Sunday as I was returning, talking to those who are still fighting for their lives. And I found one gentleman, Joab. Joab is probably in his late 30s or early 40s. Joab is an ordinary member of the community like any of you could be. He just happens to be a Rotarian in the Rotary Club of Nakuru and the current president. When the accident happened, luckily enough, he was closer by. So he probably was the second or third person to get to the accident scene. Different from what happens in most of the accidents I've seen in Uganda. Before people rescue those who are fighting for their lives, they are first checking in our pockets and so on. Miraculously, the first guy who landed to that, appeared at the accident scene, not the Rotarian, their first task as they were pulling out people was to secure their property. When I reached there on Sunday, they told me that indeed they confessed that every person, apart from the one who has died, but at least the widow was there, and the other who was still in a coma, everyone else, their property was intact. I thought that was a miracle. But Joab, that Rotarian who appeared third, around 3 p.m. when the accident happened, on the first day, he was there to be with every Rotarian who was on that committee, even including the driver who was not a Rotarian, to ensure that they have the right medical support. He was able to transfer some of them who are taken to the first facility, which was not appropriate, to a private facility, cater for their bills. And I'm telling you, this is not a rich guy. Eh? He's an ordinary guy. But the most important thing is that when that fellow was explaining to me the state of every member, he knew them by name. I reached him on Sunday, and he has been in that hospital almost every hour. He goes home, changes, and he comes back. He goes, has a dinner with the wife and tells them he goes and checks them. That's what the Rotary spirit is. Probably that's what humanity spirit should be. Because sometimes I think this guy went beyond even just a Rotary spirit to humanity. Friends, why I give you that story, to me that is a true Rotary moment for me. But you know, the attachment that Joab caused with these people is the spirit, the fact that they were Rotarians. He did not know any of them. He probably knows each one of them, apart from knowing Ronald much more. But you know, Ronald, the one who died, is the one who provided all the contacts for all the others. He was the one who was rescued last on that scene, because he seemed to be much more okay. Yet he had the most serious injuries. But you know, he provided the phone contact to people to reach out. He gave the names of everyone. Friends, Rotary opens up those opportunities. Rotary makes you a global citizen, that even in places where you seemed to know no one, yet you are indeed part of the family. Consider and think about joining Rotary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, PDG Francis Xavier Sentam. I'm not sure whether DGND Ann Kutu has something to say. As you may all be aware, she's our area host coordinator, so she means a lot to every fellow here. And PDG Xavier was a host to some of the fellows in this room.
Thank you, Dr. Helen, and good afternoon to all our fellows and guests. Let me first start by congratulating the fellows. Congratulations on completing your diploma. Listening to you make your presentations on the social change initiatives was a very proud moment for us because we felt indeed we have achieved something. If all these fellows go out and do the things that they've done and scale them up, this is going to be a better world. And so congratulations, and we're so proud of you. And I want to also thank Dr. Helen and all the faculty of the Rotary Peace Center and the administration of Makerere University. Thank you for a job well done. So I just want to supplement a little bit on what PDG Xavier talked about, the Passport Rotary Club. In addition to forming a Passport Club, the idea for us, and why you've had host counselors all along, is that we have to bring Rotary to you. From now that you've completed this program, you now become not just Rotary Peace Fellows, but Rotary ambassadors. And we do not want to lose you. We don't want you to disappear into the woodwork and the wilderness. We have to make sure that you remain with us in Rotary. And so the idea of a passport club is to create that platform where we remain connected. That even though you are all from different countries, you can still belong to a club that brings you together. As we said, it is not as rigid as other clubs, but you can converge in this club while visiting Rotary clubs within your own countries, but belonging to this one. In addition to it being a passport club, it's also going to be what we call a cause-based club, meaning that unlike other Rotary clubs which do anything and everything, your focus is going to be peace. So yours is going to be around peace building. And that means, as PRID Yinka yesterday said, you can access global grants, funding from the Rotary Foundation, to support you implement peace building projects. So that's what makes this club different from all the other clubs. And that's what should make it interesting for you. Because most of you spoke about funding. This is an avenue for you to begin to find funding for the activities that you want to implement. It's also an opportunity for people like Amena, who come from countries where there are no Rotary clubs. This can be the beginning, because we have other Peace Fellows in cohort 2 and 3 who've expressed interest in having Rotary clubs in Somalia, but we know that there's no Rotary in Somalia so far. So the Passport Club also is your first entry into starting initiatives around Rotary in Somalia. So we'd like to encourage you, start with this Passport Club, and then we'll start having satellite clubs in Somalia, and eventually, who knows what will happen, but you'll be the pioneers. So I welcome all of you to register with, I think with Gloria. She can take your names, contacts for those who are interested, and then PDG Xavier and Professor Sylvia will organize informational meetings where you get to know a little bit more of what the club plans to do, how you can be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DG and D. Gloria, show your face again. So fellows, this is a very emotional day for me and an emotional moment. When we started the journey of bidding for this Rotary Peace Center, we had many dreams. By that time, PDG Xavier was the governor. We are very honored. We thank you for all the support. And we do thank PDG Emmanuel Katongole for raising this. Most specifically also the team that we worked very closely with, Rotarian Fred, Masade, Rotarian Ann Nkutu. We thank very much DG now, Honorable Mike Sevalu, Rotarian Francis Iwa, and many others that came, especially the past Peace Fellows that came to give us experiences. What we saw today was a clear testimony that it is possible. Our dear firstborns, the COVID group, we are proud of you, and thank you very much for making this a reality. The center will always be proud of you. You have set a very good example. The rest will desire to fail, but you have showed them that this is the purpose why the center was established. As faculty, we are very grateful it would be unfair for me to leave this podium without thanking my team. Fiona, Gloria, Leah, Sarah, where are you, all of you? Come and show your face to this team. In all honesty, friends, and there are 3 others who are not here, but they are doing a lot of kitchen work. Fiona, you didn't want to come in front here? Yes, you should be on stage. That's the strong team I work with. I've always been teased that I work with only a team of ladies. But that's not very correct. Move in, please. That's not very correct. We do have 2 gentlemen. We have Eli Mesda Kalyango. We also have Maurice Sully. And the Peace Fellows know them very well because they are very good support structure to them. And we do have Miss Kavatasi Allen back at the center. Those are the people you never see, but they cannot manage if those people are not there. Friends, please clap for this team. And for every success you see today, give it to them. Anything that did not go well, I take responsibility. So team, thank you very much and keep it up. I would like to thank most sincerely my technical team, Eric and team. Thank you very much. They didn't sleep. Everyone you see on camera here was with me here from Saturday, worked through the night, Sunday through the night up to Monday. I'm very sure everyone is very happy. Peace Fellows, I hope you're happy. Most sincerely, I send my regards and gratitude to Rotary International and to Makerere University Management, without which I would not have been given the opportunity to lead the team, which I am proud to lead. Friends, I would not say we are closing, but we are just starting. Let us record our names, let us register for the E-Club so that we do more multitudes and mightier things. We saw every presentation brought something new, and we are proud of you fellows. Don't give it up. Let this not be the end. And I heard Nobantu's cry. Dr. Helen, listen to this. I heard that, Nobantu. And we shall support you all through. Be good ambassadors. I know we have our dinner tomorrow where we shall be saying more and talking more. But we congratulate you and we wish you all the best. And dear team, I wish you a safe journey as you return. Thank you very much.